All right, here we go. Deon Cole, welcome back to Vlad TV.
Ah, thank you for having me back, Vlad.
Always love when you come.
Yes, and I love to be here too, brother.
And now you have a brand new Netflix stand-up special, Okay Mister.
Okay, Mister, on Netflix right now.
Yes.
Thank you to everybody that's been watching it. It is going through the roof. I'm so happy. Thank you. Everybody go watch it. Yes.
It was filmed out here in LA, right?
Yeah, for the Netflix comedy festival.
Aha.
Yeah, shot it for that.
Now, the name Okay Mister was about one of the jokes. You talked about it where you basically said to all the young ladies out there who are getting hit on by older men, the best way to get rid of them is to say, okay, mister.
If they go, hey, how you doing? How you doing, baby? Just say, okay, mister. And they'll be like, what the fuck?
My name is Greg. Okay, Mr. Greg.
Right, exactly. It's like, just that title alone just summed up your life. That one line would sum up your life. Yeah. Even if you think you on some young shit, and if a young woman say that to you, it'll stop you in your tracks, and you'll be like, oh shit, I'm a mister now. And you'll change your whole, you'll think about that, just that one little phrase, like it'll change your whole life. So that's why I named the special that, you know.
Now, in terms of women you date, what's the average age of women that you date? Because you're 52 now.
So I think like, yeah, I think it's like, probably like, they just got to be cool, man. I usually find out a woman's age later on some
so you don't even ask?
Not off top, I don't, but later on I would ask. But like, right off top, it's just how they look, the chemistry, how they acting, and then I'm attracted to that. So if it's someone very young, I wouldn't be attracted to that because just looking, you know what I mean? Because I wouldn't be attracted. So, you know, I mean, not like that, but I would have to get to know them and see how they are. But mostly, I'm attracted to the way a mature woman looks. You know?
Right. I remember in the special you talked about how you were dating a girl and you walked to the bathroom and she had a J. Cole poster on the wall. You said that was it. That's all it took. You walked right out.
I went in her house to use the bathroom and it was a J. Cole poster and I was like, yeah, I'm out of here.
You're out of here.
I'm out of here. Yeah, she looked very mature. She was very mature. She actually was like maybe a little bit shorter than me. She was just, you know, she was a mature motherfucker. And then when I saw that shit, I ain't even asked the age. It was a real like thumbtack poster, not in the frame, thumbtack poster. Not framed. Thumbtack.
The thumbtack.
Different colors. Different thumbtacks. I had to go. I was like, I'm out of here. I can't be with you.
You're gonna have to pay a fee when you move out of the apartment. They're gonna have to repaint that wall.
For the damaged wall damage. You gotta pay a fee, right, exactly. I was like, man, I'm out of here, shit, man.
So that's a real story.
Yeah, that's a real story, yeah.
Okay, because you also talked about vintage women.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what's the oldest woman? I'm not going to say date. Who's the oldest woman you've ever slept with?
The oldest woman I ever slept with. Yes. See, now you got to break that down because depending on how old I was at the time.
Doesn't matter.
So when I was about 25, I think, probably around 25, 23, I slept with a woman that was like 55.
It's pretty old.
It's pretty old, right?
30 years older than you.
But boy, that motherfucker put it on me.
I bet.
Man, I was like, that's what I think that was the beginning of my fetish for vintage ladies. I was like, I mean, put it on me, like, just, and it wasn't even a whole bunch of, I think she taught me, like, really how to really get down, too, because I think before that, I was like, just, everything was, she was like, calm down, just chill, relax, just relax. No, I was like,
slow down the slapping, huh?
And still popped and was like, whoa.
That works.
It works. I was like, man.
Yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, my ex-wife was older than me,
Mm-hmm.
and she did some things in the bedroom that I had never experienced before.
It's always the older women,
It's
man.
always an older woman, and at that point, that was the first older woman that I really dated, and I got turned out.
You do.
Yeah.
If a man really admitted,
Yeah,
an older woman will turn you.
I got turned out. I'm not
The
gonna
fuck out.
I'm not gonna sit there and try to front. No, I
No,
got turned out. I was still in my
absolutely.
20s, and she was in her 30s. And she did some things that I will not mention. I will not mention.
We all got those not mentions.
Not mentioned. Thank God there's no cameras back then. And yeah, I'm marrying her. Got divorced 8 months later.
Married her. You married her. I ain't gonna lie, I had a couple where I was like, I wonder what her ring size is. No, but them up, boy. I'm telling you, man, people don't understand. They just, I think they've been through so much that it comes to a point where it's like, you know what, I really don't even care no more. It's about me. And it's about me enjoying myself. And I'm going to use you to enjoy myself.
You're a tool.
You are going to be a tool. And that's what I was. And I was, because it wasn't about what I wanted to do. She told me, no, don't do that. I don't want that. I want you to do it this way. And when I did it that way, it was like, yo, I ain't never, first of all, I ain't had nobody ever tell me to do shit this way. And then when I did it that way, it was for her. It was what she wanted, you know? And after that, I was like, well, goddamn. Yeah. And then after you go from an older woman and go to a younger woman, you'll see the difference.
Oh, yeah.
You go to a young woman right after an older woman, you be like this. What the fuck are we doing right now? She like, I'm like, hey, slow down. I'm acting like the older woman now. Relax, chill, just get in your groove, find your groove, you know?
I mean, yeah, the adult movie scene, they have GILFs now. That's a thing.
What is
That's
it?
a genre. Well, you know, you have MILFs,
MILFs?
which mother that I'd like to fuck. But now you have GILFs, grandmothers
that
I'd like to fuck. Yeah, they got gray hair all around, top
Dude,
and bottom.
but grandmamas
Not really
ain't-
my thing, but hey, it's
I
a
was just
thing.
gonna say, grandmamas ain't the grandmamas of old day. Grandmamas ain't walking around here in a gown and a rocking chair. That ain't even grandmama. Grandfathers ain't like that no more. You know, that whole thing has been debunked. Like, it's a lot of sexy older women out here, man. That's bad, like bad. Gray hair be looking so good on women sometimes. It's just, and it's intimidating to a lot of men, I guess. Men don't want to go over there and mess with a woman with gray hair, but I think that gray hair shit is like the bomb, dog. It's just, you know, ain't a certain man gonna come over there and really fuck with her like that. It's a certain man that's gonna look at that gray hair and they gonna know what to do with it, and they gonna know they willing to learn. Put it like that. They see that gray hair, they go, "Ooh, I'm about to learn some shit." That's what I do. I be like, I'm about to. Ooh, I
That
see
looks like
her.
a university right there.
I'm going to learn.
Get my
look
master's
look at
degree
this
right here.
university right here. Look at this
My PhD.
Look at this university. I'm about to get my doctorate. I'm about to get it. Yeah, that's how I feel, man. Yeah.
Well, you actually named your top 5 vintage women. Pam Grier,
Yes.
Thelma from Good Times,
Yes.
Felicia Rashad,
Yes.
Nia Long,
Yes.
Angela Bassett.
Now, look, Nia Long, I want to apologize to Nia. I was on the cuff with Nia. I don't really want to put Nia in that or whatever. But I'm going to change Nia to Stephanie Mills.
Oh, because of the whole Breakfast Club thing?
We're going to take Nia off with Stephanie Mills.
Well, hold on. Nia's 53. She's actually older than you.
Yeah, but a little bit.
But she's younger
not-
than the other women that you've named.
Yeah. I wouldn't put Nia in there. I think I messed up with that or whatever. But like I think Stephanie's a motherfucker.
Yeah, we've interviewed her before. I didn't do the interview myself. I didn't realize how small she was.
She's small.
She's like 4'10" or something.
Yeah, fiery.
She's like your height while you're sitting down.
Man, good height.
You can do some things with that.
Good height for that.
We used to call those spinners back in the day. I don't know if that's still a term. But Stephanie Mills definitely looked like a spinner. I'm sorry, Stephanie. I'm sorry if this is disrespectful.
Sorry,
It just
Stephanie.
is what it is.
Stephanie, we love you, baby. You
We
know
love
that.
you, but you're a spinner.
We love stuff. Oh, you silly, man.
There was a rumor the other day that Kanye and his wife Bianca were getting divorced.
Yeah.
But she popped up today with him, in Tokyo. So I guess they're together. You know what I'm saying? But saying that, this is your Chicago brother, Kanye. You guys know each other, right?
Yeah.
Could you be with a woman and have her titties out the way Kanye has been parading Bianca?
If I had $1 billion, I would.
That's $1 billion behavior is what you're
That's
saying.
$1 billion behavior.
$1 billion behavior.
Don't even try to understand it.
Right. If you're
Don't
making
even-
if
don't
you're a
even try-
9-to-5 guy,
Don't
have
even
your woman.
try to understand.
Right.
The 9-to-5 motherfuckers can't have their girl with their breasts out.
That's a good point.
You can't do that.
Right.
That's billionaire behavior. And they can do that.
You're right, because you got security
got
around you. No one's
security
going to try to grab a
around. You
titty.
can- man,
no
she
one's going to
can
try to
be-
holler at her when you're around.
Man, no eye contact,
No,
none of that.
None of that.
Nah,
Right.
come on,
No,
shit.
If you're leaving UPS and you got your girl out with the titties,
Yeah.
you're going to have some problems.
Yeah.
But if you're a billionaire, you can pull it off.
You good.
You good.
And you ain't got to wait for her to get ready.
Right. Just straight out the shower, onto the
Into
street.
the car.
That's it.
Ain't no
That's it.
clothes.
Right. Because she's basically naked everywhere she goes.
Get out the shower,
Yeah.
comb your hair, we
That's
out of
it.
here.
You don't even have to comb the hair, actually. It's
Let's
just
get
straight
out of
out
here.
the shower.
What are we doing?
Your kids around. Who cares? She'll
Let's
carry
go.
one of the kids.
Look, I'll be in the
You know
car.
what I'm saying? One of the kids is thirsty. You can breastfeed right there.
I would love
It's all
that.
right
Billionaire
there.
behavior. I want it. I want it.
I never even thought about that.
Yeah.
That is billionaire
That's
behavior.
billionaire behavior,
Right.
yo. Yeah. I
Jeff
want
Bezos
that.
could do this.
Jeff Bezos can do
totally
this.
pull this off.
Yeah. Elon.
Elon can pull this off, you're right.
Mark Cuban, they all can do it. If
can
they
all
want
do
to.
it. Yeah, me and you are too
absolutely.
broke to pull this off.
We too broke, but we got visions.
Yeah. Aspirations.
We got aspirations. God know who to give money to.
That's right. And one of the things that really kind of hit close to home when I was watching your special was when you're talking about dating a girl with no kids and you're trying to get her out the house, you like fake leave to get her out the house. And we've all done this.
Who I was about to say,
We've
who
all
ain't
done
did,
this.
who ain't did that? Yeah.
We've all done this. Oh, yeah, I got this meeting. I got to go. For you, it was an interview. He's at 4 a.m. Yeah, his job's calling. We've all fake left to get
left.
women out the house.
Yeah, we all do. Women do
all
it
done
too.
this.
Women do it too. They do it all the time too. They'll look at their phone and be like, "Oh my God, he beating her again. Let me get out of here." You like, what? What are you talking about? I gotta go save her. Get your stuff. We gotta go. You're like, what? All right. You want me to go with you? No. And get on out the house or whatever. Everybody got
Everybody's
a
done it.
get them up and get them out
Yes.
excuse. Yeah.
Well, you talked about how black women hate to see a black man with a white woman,
Mm-hmm.
right? But you say that black men don't care when they see a black woman with a white man. But I've actually gotten flack for this. Most of my relationships throughout my life was with black women, and I've gotten hated on by black men.
Yeah.
I had dudes like make
Absolutely.
little comments and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's not, you said that you never see a bunch of black dudes getting together, but it does happen.
I have never
I'm not
been.
saying you did it, but I'm just saying.
No, I'm just saying, like, yeah, I speak from my experience. I've never been with a group of guys and we seen a black girl with a white guy and we like shitted on her about it. You know what I mean? We've done like this. Oh, okay, girl. Okay, we see you. Or we'll joke and be like, yeah, niggas in fuck. She done had a bad experience with some niggas before. She ain't never going back to niggas. We might say some shit like that, but like, nah, we ain't like hating on her or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Let me ask you this though: if a gay black woman is with a white woman, why don't nobody trip over that?
A gay black woman and a gay white woman.
Why don't nobody trip on them being together?
I kind of feel like lesbian relationships have never really been a thing that anyone's had a real problem with. Down to, like, for example, like, lesbian porn is totally normal.
Right. But they'll trip over a black gay dude with a white guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've seen that. I've heard people talk about that. Like, they tripped out. They'll be like, if you're gonna be gay and get one, why can't you get so many gay black dudes out here that's like I've heard black people say that before.
It's interesting. I just interviewed Don Lemon, and he has a white husband.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Right.
But
so people would discriminate against Don and go, why you ain't got you a black gay why you ain't got you a black man?
Really?
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it.
I mean, I've heard
I never
it
really
before.
thought about it that way. But
I've heard it before. My cousin, he's gay.
He's gay.
We had these
and
conversations.
He's got a white boyfriend.
No, I don't know who the hell he with. Call him Water the way he run through these hoes.
Yeah, I bet.
I be calling him Water. He with all kind of men. Not like that, but no, I'm just saying.
I remember my interview with Don. We were talking about the Diddy situation, about how he flies women out. And I'm like, I don't really see the problem. I'm like, Don, you've never flown no dudes out. No, never. I'm like, come on, Don.
Nah, cut it out. Cut it out, Don. I'm gonna look in the camera. Don, cut it the fuck out. Yes,
cut it out,
Don.
Sex trafficking is also a very fuzzy subject. A lot of girls will fly out to go see guys and have sex with them. Are they sex trafficking, or are they having sex with a guy?
Look, I don't know nothing about it. There are no girls flying out to have sex with me. That's all I have to say, or guys. So
you've never flown a guy out?
No.
You've never established a relationship with a guy and then flown him out to go spend the weekend with you?
I fly my husband. I was like, hey, I've been.
I'm talking about before your husband.
No.
When you were out there doing your thing.
No.
Really?
No.
Okay, I believe you.
No. Get on a plane. Get there yourself.
Especially the gay community with the amount of, like, partners that they have, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, my God.
It's regular shit. It's regular shit.
Come on.
Yeah.
I know you probably didn't want to admit it on camera, but I'm like, come on, Don. I'm sure in your heyday, a lot of dudes got flued out. I'm sure of it. As much money as you have, shit. All that CNN money, the $25 million
You be on the
payouts.
plane, you can tell who's getting flued out. If you sitting in your seat and they walking through, you be like, oh yeah, he getting flued out.
He getting flued
Hold
out.
his purse right coming through. Like, I be like, that nigga getting flued out. I know it. Get it though. I want everybody, all y'all,
That's
get
right,
it,
man.
get it.
Yeah,
Get flown
live your life,
out,
man.
goddamn.
Do you?
Yeah.
You also talked about how every woman got a fat ass now. It's just not special anymore.
Yeah,
A
that.
white woman.
I want to get back to the
say
90s
that-
bodies.
Yeah. Having a fat
It was
ass
just
was a white
chocolate
man.
and just sexy and
Having a woman with a naturally fat ass, you felt like you accomplished something back in the day.
you found
Go
like
ahead,
you
dude.
found
Yeah.
a needle in a haystack.
Yeah.
It was like
A pot of gold somewhere,
Wow.
like in a dungeon or
Where'd you
some
find
shit.
her at? Yeah, like, wow.
You did it,
was
but I'm
like
just
that,
saying.
but not no more. I was at a strip club in Miami recently. Yo. Okay, not Miami. I'm going to change the name. I was at a strip club, right? And you could tell they all had the same doctor. Yeah, niggas in.
Probably Dr. Miami.
I would think, switch your doctors up if y'all all at the same club dancing, because y'all all look the same. Y'all all look the same. They all look the same. I say, go get another doctor if that's what you're gonna do. If that's what you're gonna, I don't condone really none of it, but if you're gonna do it, don't get the same doctor everybody get. They all walk around the club looking the same with it.
I'm not
Trip
mad at
over that.
BBLs, though. I'll be honest.
I'm not
Because
mad at it neither,
I'm not
but
mad
if they
at a
all
black
got
woman
the
and a
same
gay white
proportion,
woman.
I would be like, yo, come on now.
Well,
Me
like,
and
what
the
would you
other.
prefer? Would you prefer a girl with a flat ass or a girl with a BBL?
I probably would prefer. I don't know. That's a good question.
I'd go for the BBL.
You go for the BBL?
Go for the BBL.
It all depends on how the BBL look. Put it
You're
like
right.
that. If it's ridiculous,
Yeah,
then
I'm not talking about.
Yeah, my shit ain't gonna even reach
Right.
if it's ridiculous. I've had that before. I was like this. Yeah, I'm out of here. It won't even fit. I can't even. I
Right.
can't even
Well,
reach it.
that just means missionaries.
Yeah, missionaries.
That's
yeah,
it.
something. Yeah, I can't.
The front, the side,
Sign
not gonna work.
something.
Just
Just
missionary.
hand job. Just go ahead. Give it. I don't even want to fuck around and embarrass myself. Just Like on some real shit. But the thing is, though, here's the interesting thing, too. It is white girls who go get butt lifts and stuff in the strip clubs, but a lot of the strip clubs you go to, some women, the white women don't have it. If you go to an all-white gentleman's club, a lot of them don't have those. They have breast surgeries,
right? Yeah, well,
but they don't really have too many ass surgeries.
Yeah, it's more about the titties.
Yeah, they all little as shit. You know, like the club we was at, it looked like a bunch of French fries was dancing, like a room full of French fries, not even cooked, just. I was like, look at these French fries around here. I'm not even lying, yo. Like they don't care about the ass, and the white man be like, because they don't care about the ass neither.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like, and I'm a white guy, right? So I feel like you don't care about the ass until you actually experience the ass. See, that's the thing. Now, let me hear how listen to how I'm kind of laid out. Like, if all your girlfriends in high school and college were white and they didn't have ass, you kind of get used to that.
Yeah.
But then you'll get that black or Puerto Rican chick.
Mm-hmm.
Then you realize you've been missing out this whole time.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you'll end up, going in a different direction. So I think like the men out there that aren't into big asses have probably never experienced a big ass.
And I think that's what it is too. But they might have in their mind that that's ghetto or some shit like that, and so therefore they don't do it, whatever. But it's also on the reverse side as well. A white woman with a fat ass, white guys would shun them out and be like, we don't like that shit. And they are forced to fuck with black guys. You know what I mean? Because they the only ones that want them.
No, that's true. I messed around with some white girls with big asses. They were surprised that I was interested in them. I'm usually only black guys usually approach me.
Yeah, like they don't ain't no white guys fucking with no fat asses like that. That ain't.
To all the white guys, man, y'all missing out.
They missing out like a motherfucker. They missing out on a lot of shit, though. They missing out on a lot of shit.
What else they missing out on?
Shit, they missing out on music. They missing out on motherfucking the conversation of a black woman and just how she is and how sexy she is and what they do. Like, it's missing out on a lot of shit, yo. Soul food. Like, come on, man. I remember when I was working for Conan, I couldn't believe that motherfucker never had soul food. I had to take him to a soul food restaurant. Yeah. There's a lot of white men who've never had soul food. That's crazy. And if they try it, I'm quite sure they'll love that shit.
Oh, yeah.
You know? But it's a lot they missing out on. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, there you go.
I'll go ask white people sometime. Like, we know, I said this in an interview before, though, but, like, we know white music more than white people know black music. Real shit.
Well, me and you come from the MTV generation.
Yes, we do.
Now, I think that's what the difference is. Because we would just watch MTV, and MTV played everything. So you got all the rock bands, the Bon Jovis, and the Journeys, but they also, you had your MTV Raps, so you kind of got it all.
Right.
These days, I feel like black music is more dominant.
See, back in the day, MTV didn't play black videos, right? So, first of all, music videos were so innovative, it was like everybody watched it. Yeah. But they only played white videos. And so we knew all the white songs because we was watching this before they started playing black stuff. But we had black music that we was listening to on our own. And we was looking at the videos that MTV was playing or whatever. But a lot of white guys don't really know our music. This your engineer right here. What's his name?
My cameraman, yeah.
What's his name?
David.
David. Hey, how you doing, David?
What's good?
You know who the Whispers are?
Fuck yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
What about the Spinners?
Spinners?
Yeah.
Recognize that. I went to a Coasters concert when I was like 10.
Yeah? A lot of white guys don't know who the Spinners are. Yeah. Or the Whispers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know all these groups, so.
I know you do.
That's why you didn't ask me.
I got you. I'm like this.
The white guy next to me, right?
Here,
Oh, Drifters, one of the Drifters.
The Drifters? Yeah.
Okay,
There you go.
There we go.
Damn, you got a black girl. You got a black girl, don't you? You got a black girl in your life?
Only on the weekends.
Only on the weekends. Why only on the weekend? No, I'm just bullshit. I'm saying that's great.
Well, people don't realize this. I remember I was listening to one of your interviews. You actually sell out 5,000-seat arenas now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Congrats.
It ain't like everyone is like that or nothing like that, but yeah, I've done a few of them.
Pulling that type of audience.
I've done a few of them. Very, 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 very emotional for me too, because because I remember not being a really hot commodity, but just was unique and different, and to sustain that from me performing at a pool hall to doing that and not wavering who I am and doing what's hot, you know, that's something that I'm like proud of.
Well, I remember you talked about, I think it was on Bert Kreischer's podcast, how you actually had to perform at Steve Harvey's club.
So no, it was a club called All Jokes Aside in Chicago, and Steve Harvey was the headliner, and I had just started doing stand-up, and they was like, you can do 5 minutes before Steve every show. He had like 7 shows, and they was like, you can do 5 minutes before each show. And so I was like, all right, fine, cool. So yeah, I like opened for him for that whole weekend.
Right, but what was interesting about the story is that you had to wear a suit.
Yeah, like back in the day, that's what they would do. They would have, I think the thought process was, if you're not funny, at least you look good.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So everybody wore a suit.
Right.
It was like comedy suit. That was like, go together like that. But hip hop was like on fire, you know, and I was, man, you can tell me I wasn't in Tribe Called Quest. I was the 5th member of Tribe Called Quest. All day long,
right.
You cannot tell me.
Yeah, fuck Jarobi.
Fuck Jarobi, it was me. Yes.
It's you.
And so, you know, that club was like, man, you got to wear suits and shit. And I'm like, I did it that one time, and I was so uncomfortable opening for Steve Harvey wearing that. I was like, I'll never do it again, because I don't think that makes me. You know what I mean? And there's a whole new generation of people that want to come rock. And then when the club wavered and let me come in like that, they saw a whole new people that came into the establishment that wanted to come rock, you know.
But you didn't actually own a suit.
Man, I went to the secondhand store and I bought a brown jacket, a black shirt, and a gray tie, and I wore it every day, and I looked terrible. The tie was terrible. The jacket was terrible. Everything I put in the pockets, I lost.
Like, that holes in it?
I lost everything. I thought the jacket was magic. Huh? Like, where are my keys? Like, where's anything I put in that pocket vanished?
That's funny.
I was like, yeah, nah, I can't. I'm not doing this no more. Absolutely.
So you go from that to 5,000-seat arenas.
Yeah.
How crazy is that?
It's crazy, right? It's just, you know, believing in what you do. I know it sounds cliche, but it is not. It really isn't. It's just you believe in what you do. You don't waver. You know your value, and you stand on that shit. And that's just what it is. And if you different, then be different or whatever. But stand on what you believe in, you know?
So different people react to this question differently, right? Some people, when they're coming up and people don't recognize their talent and put them on, when they get big, they kind of feel a level of bitterness towards those people. Other people feel like, hey man, listen, it wasn't my time yet. You didn't see my vision. Now that I'm bigger, I do want to work with you still. So in terms of people that may not have recognized you back in the day that you would run into later on in life, I'm not saying Steve Harvey. I don't know what your relationship was back then, but like just in general, do you feel like, yeah, see, now I'm here, you know, and you're back there? Or do you feel like, hey man, listen, it's my vision and I don't expect anyone else to understand it?
Nah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the thing about Steve Steve never treated me any.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not talking about Steve in particular. That's why I wanted to kind of point that out. But you do meet comics on the way up.
Yeah.
And at one point you surpass them.
Right.
And they may have fronted on you or kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. No.
I think, like, for example, I think you told me, well, not you told me. I remember hearing about like the Eddie Murphy story where like you met him really early on. You're like, hey man, I'm Dion Cole. I'm gonna work with you one day. He's like, okay. Then you just walked off. And later on, when you met him, he's like, hey man, I think you're really funny.
It's love. Man, this business is. This business is so different. It's you can't get comfortable in this business. Every level is a learning experience. Every level is different. And the level that anybody that I meet that's an icon or whatever, if I meet them and they on the level, I learn by looking at them or whatever. You know, me meeting Eddie, it was just passing. And I know how that probably feel because I have it happen now. You know what I mean? People say something to me and be like, yo, legend, I'm gonna work with you one day. And I'd be like, oh man, I hope we do. Yeah. That's what I always do. I'd be like, I hope we do, and I keep it moving. You know what I mean? And so Eddie was just like, looking at me like, okay. Yeah. And he's like, but this is Eddie Murphy, yo. Like, do you know how many? First of all, he ain't around a bunch of people. So if you do have the chance to grace his presence or whatever, it's a moment, you know what I mean? And so for me to even be walking through the door while he leaving out and I'm waiting on him to walk through, I'm standing to the side like this, waiting on him to go through, and I just gingerly was like, I'm gonna work with you one day. It could be kind of creepy, you know? He's like, oh, hey, all right.
I know where you
It could be kind of creepy, so, I get it, But then later on, man, when I met him, when he came up to me at this Netflix dinner, man, that was all the validation I needed. Even no matter what I was going through at the time, work-wise, people telling me no, or auditions didn't come through, or other comics being chosen for certain things and not me. When that man walked up to me without me even asking him to, when that man came up to me, man, I was like, I couldn't believe that he was walking up to me. And when he walked up to me and was like, man, I'm a fan, I love your work, I was like, man, don't tell me that if you don't mean it. I said, don't tell me that. I said, straight up, Eddie. He was like this, nah, I mean it. I was like, dude, thank you. Whatever you need, I don't care what the fuck it is. Just ask me, I'm doing it, period. Just call me, period. Just for that, because I felt at that moment, that was bigger than any audition. That was bigger than any tour. That was bigger than anything. I remember sitting at home watching this 22-year-old do Delirious and murder at 22, and the content that he was talking about, Elizabeth Taylor and Johnny Cash and all these people. I'm like, how do you even know these motherfuckers at that age? Like, how seasoned he was. And man, to see that, and wasn't even thinking about doing comedy. But to see that and know that man did that, to know that man did Trading Places and changed the game, I'll call them culture shifters. He shifted culture when it came to comedy and all that. Man, to have that man come up to me, man, I was like, and I had missed like 2 auditions, they didn't choose me. So people got chosen for this tour, they didn't choose me for that. And after that, man, that sent me to a whole nother level. I started writing my ass off and was like, psst. So there's certain icons that you meet, man, it just sparks something in your brain and be like, man, like what I'm doing is worth it.
Well, yeah. I think me and TK Kirkland were talking about this. Eddie Murphy is the biggest rock star in comedy ever.
Ever.
Shout out to Dave Chappelle. And the younger kids may not understand what I'm saying now, but I think Dave would admit this if you were to ask him right now.
Right.
Because not only was Eddie doing the biggest stand-up specials ever, but he was a bona fide movie star.
Right.
On a level that even Kevin Hart can't touch.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Shout out to Kevin.
Right.
Kevin's a beast also at what he does.
Absolutely.
This is not I'm not downplaying anybody.
Right.
But Eddie was a bona fide rock star on every level.
Yeah.
On every level.
But if you're thinking of just comedy, just pure comedy, I think Eddie was more inspirational than Chappelle, but Chappelle got more motherfucking comedy than we seen Eddie do.
Well, of course, because Eddie's really just 2 specials.
It's 2 specials.
They're monster specials, but he stopped.
And probably, what, 2 tours?
Yeah, I'm not even sure.
I'm not even sure about the tour shit.
Yeah.
So this is how iconic this man is.
Right.
That
People still talking about his stuff from the 80s. Yeah.
From the 80s. That's how iconic. So it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And he did that to a way where that sparked a mind. Dave is great because he's great, but Dave got like, what, 13 specials?
Yeah.
Like Richard Pryor, what he got, like 4?
You know, he's got like, maybe 5 or 6, maybe.
5? No, he got mad albums and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of count those.
You could count albums.
Because back then, there wasn't really specials.
Right.
It was more of an audio format,
But like touring-wise, I don't know what the touring was with him or whatever, but Richard Pryor was Eddie's muse. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Richard Pryor inspired a lot of people.
100%.
Eddie Murphy and everybody, whatever. But catalog-wise, it ain't fucking with Chappelle.
No, not at all. But I'm just saying overall. The
Overall.
overall impact on society.
See, but that's what I'm trying to get. And for us to simplify this, we talking about impact or are we talking about receipts? You know what I mean? Impact is different. Jay-Z, impactful than he changed the game. You know what I mean? But Rakim did too. Rakim changed the game.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But is he just as impactful, even more impactful than Jay-Z in a sense? But Jay-Z got hit after hit after hit after hit. I mean, Rakim do too, but we talk about catalog.
But I mean, Rakim, the genre was much smaller.
Right.
This was music videos were just starting out, album sales. You know, back when Rakim was rapping, people were wondering whether rap's going to be around in a couple of years. You know, I just interviewed Young MC. We had that conversation.
Right.
That was a real conversation from people, me and you. You remember people saying, yeah, it's going to go like disco. Yeah, it's hot right now in a couple of years. Or like go-go. Okay, yeah, it's cool in this region, but no one really cares, you know, outside the region.
Right.
Hip-hop became what it is, and Jay-Z was part of that upswing. I don't think that any stand-up comedian became a bigger movie star than Eddie Murphy.
No.
Period. Not even close, I would say.
No. I would even say, even though Richard was...
Not as big as Eddie.
I don't know, dog.
Really? You would say that Richard Pryor was a bigger movie star than Eddie Murphy?
I just think, again, that's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to tell you that, like, Rakim was more impactful than Jay-Z to me. You get what I mean? But
I'm kind of see what you're saying, but like...
But Jay-Z had more receipts. He had more movies and more everything. So you can look at him as being this big rock star or this big rap artist with all this stuff or whatever. But then you got Ra, who changed the way people thought.
I feel you.
So with the thing about Richard Pryor had, man... It wasn't a lot of black comics that was out there getting it at the time.
True.
Richard Pryor had all the hot shit. If he was in it, it was hot. Which Way Is Up? We can keep going on and on. Car Wash, go on and on and on.
Right, but Richard, I feel like Richard couldn't carry a movie the way Eddie could carry a movie.
Now
you'd have to pair them up.
This is true.
With like a Gene Wilder, or you see what I'm saying?
This is true. This is
Car
true.
Wash, he was in Car Wash, but he had more of a bit role in Car Wash.
Eddie Murphy is by far one of the greatest movie stars that ever, and for comedy, that ever did it.
True.
Period.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Eddie, let's just
let's
put that there, right? Impactfully. Richard Pryor was more of an impact, I think, than Eddie was.
He was more of he broke a lot of barriers.
He broke barriers.
Yes, I get it.
You get what I mean?
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Eddie was just a phenomenal talent who was funny as shit. Richard went from the Bill Cosby shit to fuck this shit and was like on the movement, the Black Power movement, start talking about what was going on in the community. You know what I mean? Making a stance, being just a real motherfucker, just like he was impactful, like he was, while everybody was doing this shit, Richard was the only motherfucker like, shit, nigga, give me a cigarette. Man, these white motherfuckers, you know what I mean? They wasn't doing that. Like Bill and them, they wasn't doing that shit. He was impactful, man, like impactful to motherfucker. Receipts-wise, Eddie is the bigger fucking draw. Yeah, you know what 100%. I mean? But Richard was a draw like a motherfucker then too, though. But Eddie might have made $2 billion worth of box office tickets.
Probably no, more than that.
More than that.
I'm gonna look this up.
Richard probably didn't do $2 billion, but he sparked the mind of Eddie Murphy to make $2 billion. You get what I mean?
Eddie Murphy's movies have grossed $3.8 billion.
There we go.
$6.5 billion adjusted for inflation.
Sheesh.
6.7 billion worldwide before inflation.
Sheesh.
Come on now.
That's what I'm saying.
And usually he was starring in those films.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That he, receipt-wise, ain't nobody fucking with him as a stand-up comic that's doing movies like that. Ain't nobody fucking with him like that.
Yes.
Richard didn't do those numbers.
No.
But he was more impactful than Eddie was. That's all I'm saying.
He broke the barriers.
He
allowed Eddie Murphy to be Eddie Murphy.
Eddie wouldn't have made the billions if it wasn't
without Richard. I feel you. How did it feel when you finally got to do a movie with Eddie? You people.
Shit. I remember when I walked in there, I was pop locking like, hey, how y'all doing? Everything good? Everything good? I was so nervous, dog. And then he was so cool. I just had to go. I went and to my trailer and talked. I do that sometimes when I'm working with people I think are phenomenal. I go to my trailer and be like, he is just a regular person, okay? You go out there and do what you do. You go be great. Because, hey, you great too. You great too.
I am somebody.
You are somebody. Go out there and be great. Treat him like a regular person. Now let's go. 1, 2, 3. Let's get it. Touch the mirror. I'll be like, 1, 2, 3. Let's get it.
What was it about? Because I remember you guys had, was it one scene together or was it multiple scenes? I know one of the scenes got thrown out.
We had hella scenes. They got thrown out. Yeah.
So it was only just one scene that actually made it. So, but you guys had multiple scenes. What was it with all the acting that you've done over the years? What was different about Eddie Murphy?
Again, I'm in front of the delirious guy. You know what I mean? Like, I'm in front of this icon. Not only that, you're waiting to ping pong with this mother. You want to go back and forth. You want to ad-lib and go. And not only am I doing that with him in this one scene, I'm doing it with Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Jonah Hill and David X-Files.
Duchovny.
Duchovny or whatever. Yeah. We had Nia Long, you know, we all and Laura London. We all like that shit was like that. It's a dream. It's a dream to do that. Just to, even if it was funny, if it wasn't funny, whatever the fuck it was, I am now solidified in his discography of Eddie Murphy movies. I am part of that shit. And I'm good with that. You know? I got a scene with that man. I did it. That's it. But he was great. I tell you this though, Eddie got he got a stand-in. I talked about this on something else Eddie. Too. You got a fake Eddie. This is other billionaire behavior, all right?
Billionaire behavior. Probably got a girl that checks out too.
Eddie did his coverage. They was like, this is my coverage. And another dude came in there like, yeah, you ready?
Freddie Murphy.
Freddie Murphy came in and was like, Yeah, let's go. I was like this, where to go? Let's go. I was like, yo, I gotta get me somebody to stand in with me. Though.
We gotta make some more money, man. We're missing out.
There's levels to this shit, man.
We have to walk around with our women clothes, and we have to actually do work ourselves and not have stand-ins. You know what I mean?
We doing this scene, Eddie in the cup, watermelon and shit.
You know what I mean? Our next interview, we're gonna have Leon Cole here.
I'm looking for a Leon Cole out there that look like me. I need you. I need you. I need a Leon Cole to stand in for me. It's levels to the shit.
Well, you talked about how you hated that Blackish ended.
Oh, yeah.
And you felt like it was really a money thing at the end.
Yeah, I think so. That's just me. But, yeah, it was... Yeah, that show could have won. I just wish we would have all went in there together. I wish we'd all walked in there together like Modern Family did, like Friends did, like all these iconic shows. I wish we'd have just went in there together and we all did our deals together. You're stronger together, you know?
Well, you had 8 seasons, and if you really think about it, and you know, I've talked to a lot of people who are involved in sitcoms, and they're like, you know, I remember I was talking to Darkchild. You know, he did the music for Empire, and I'm like, "Oh, were you mad that it ended?" He's like, "Yo, man, we had 5, 6 seasons.
Yeah,
like, that's a good run.
It's a great run.
You guys had 8 seasons.
Man, we had a good, phenomenal run.
I understand no one wants a great thing to end, but an 8-season run of a sitcom on a national major network, you could pat yourself on the back for that.
Right, but I did not say we should go in and get more money on the 8th season. I'm talking about season 3. Oh. Season 3.
Okay.
We should have went in that motherfucker and been like, hey, y'all, we need to talk. We need to have a conversation. That's what we should have did. That's what I'm saying. But as we went on, and I guess people wanted more money, and it just didn't happen. I guess they was like, nah, I guess. And so it ended.
So that's why it ended, because
I think
certain people were demanding an amount of money that just wasn't feasible for the project?
I wouldn't say that. I don't know what people was asking for, but I'm quite sure they was asking for more money than what they was getting. And so because ABC wasn't paying that, they was like, shit, why we still doing this? When I'm going, well, why y'all asking for that now? We should have been asked for that in season 3, and then we would have been good. Huh. And we'd have just had our money then. We could have just went in all together and did it. And I think we didn't do that. Abbott Elementary just got re-signed, and everybody over there got nice money. Everybody bumped up, everybody in the 6 figures, and everybody good, and the show is going, and they all happy, and I just be like, man, I wonder why I hate that we didn't do that.
And you were on for all 8 seasons, right?
No, I wasn't. I came in season 1, and then, I was in there for all 8, I'm tripping. I was there for all 8 seasons. Yeah. Yes, I was. I just wasn't there the full seasons of of season 1 and 2. I think I probably did like 8 episodes season 1, another 8 season 2, you know, something like that. But then the rest of the seasons, I was there the entire time.
One of my members on YouTube, Reggie D103079, he asked a pretty interesting question. He said, do you feel like Blackish and Grownish did a good job modernizing the blueprint laid out by The Cosby Show in Different World?
I think that it was his own, but yeah, I mean, any show like that before our show was, I mean, we definitely was influenced, you know what I mean? But we had our own spin on something, you know? It was 3 generations living in one house dealing with being Black in America today. You had a younger generation who only knew a Black president. You had the grandfather who ain't never seen nothing like that. And then you had the father and the mother who was living through both eras.
On both sides.
And so therefore, there was never a dynamic like that. You know what I mean? And so therefore, that made that show original like that. You know what I mean?
Well, I remember one of your comedy specials say that, I remember you said, we'll never see another Black president again. And now we're on the verge of potentially seeing another Black president.
It's crazy, right? Man, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, man, it's good times right now.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully that happened, or hopefully. I like historical shit. That's just me.
Yeah.
I just like historical shit. I like underdog shit. Any underdog, any historical shit, I'm down for it. I don't know why I'm like that, but I am, you know.
I mean, I've had a few conversations with people. They're like, well, they don't feel like America's ready for a black female president. And I'm like, I just disagree with that because America wasn't ready for a black male president, but a guy came along that was just exceptional.
Right.
And became a 2-term president and dominated both elections. So I feel like America, people try to dumb it down a little bit and say like, well, the powers that be won't allow this. No, you bring in the right person who could really do the job and people will vote for that person. I mean, who would have thought that a reality star would become a president? You know what I mean? Like, with no political experience. It just happens.
You don't know till you know.
Till you know.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
You can't sit up there and say that this woman ain't gonna be capable of handling this job. Like, who are you to say that? Like, we never had it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, vote for whoever you want to vote for. I'm voting for whoever I want to vote for. You know, some people like Trump because of his economic stuff. You know what I mean? And they think like, yo, he gonna be the way as far as money is concerned, and Kamala might just deal with just women's rights and how they feel, and you just got to go make the best choice with whatever you want to, whoever you want to vote for, whatever. You know what I mean? But you know, they both have they goods and bads.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I just interviewed Vivek, you know, who was
Who?
Vivek Ramaswamy. He was running for the Republican nomination.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
the Indian guy.
the Indian guy.
The Indian guy, yeah. He was running
yeah.
against Trump, which, you know,
Yeah,
everyone
yeah.
knew wasn't going to happen. But, I mean, he took a shot at it.
Yeah,
You know, he's
yeah.
a billionaire, you know, and so forth. And, you know, we talked about how Kamala has talked about taxing assets that you haven't sold yet. So, for example, taxing the profits in your stock portfolio that you haven't sold yet, which would be catastrophic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I might actually move out the country if that happened, because my God, the amount of taxes I would pay is turning my stomach already. I mean, that'll cause a recession. It'll cause a depression if it happens. I don't think it'll really happen, but if she does that, it is a little scary. So I think a lot of people, you know, like the Elon Musk of the world, who have hundreds of billions of dollars, they are leaning towards Trump because Trump will never do that. But, you know, we'll see what happens. I like Kamala. You know, I hope that she wins.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah,
like I
vote
said,
for who you want to vote for.
I vote for who you want to vote for,
Exactly.
man. That's how you got to do it.
I mean, if you look at all the various jobs you've had throughout your career, what was your single biggest payday if you were to just...
My single biggest payday?
check that you held in your hand for doing something, whether it was a Old Spice commercial or a show or
For like
TV.
just one thing?
One thing, one check.
My last special.
The one that we just... Okay, mister? So Netflix really dropped a bag on you.
My last special.
Your last special. I'm not going to ask you how much you got, but you seem very happy right now. What did you buy? What did you buy when that check cleared?
I didn't buy nothing crazy.
Come on.
I didn't.
Really?
No, because I already...
No, you already had money. I'm not saying you were
already-
broke and suddenly you
yeah,
won the
no, I
lottery. No, I'm
just-
not saying that.
yeah.
But still, when I get a big check, I'll usually get something.
I didn't.
Really?
No,
Okay.
I mean, I already have what I have. You know
Okay.
what I mean? I invested into, you know, something I got coming out soon, and that's about it.
Can you say what that is?
There's a documentary about
Really?
about Ernie Barnes.
Who's that?
Ernie Barnes is he's a painter. He did the painting on Good Times
Oh,
and Sugar Shack, Marvin Gaye's.
Doesn't Eddie Murphy own the original
He does.
of that painting?
Yeah. Shout out to my man Cootie and Chike. Me, Cootie and Chike. We and the Ernie Barnes estate. We all came together and we all executive producing this, and it'll be out next year.
Okay.
It's crazy. So yeah, I invested in that, and the story is crazy. Cootie is the guy that did Kanye's Genius.
Okay.
Yeah, that was around. Yeah, so therefore we are Chicago guys, and so this story though about Ernie Barnes is bananas.
Yeah, I remember watching. It was some late night talk show, and Eddie was talking about how he bought the painting from the Marvin Gaye estate.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
Marvin had died, and he reached out to the family.
Yeah.
He bought it for like $50,000 or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And now it's worth like.
Well, before that, Marvin. I'll give you this a little bit, but Marvin didn't give the painting back, and Ernie Barnes had to be on some old, motherfucker, you better give me my painting back, and he wouldn't give it to him.
Right, because he used it on one of his album covers.
Right, he used it for his album cover, but he wouldn't give it back to him. So Ernie Barnes ended up doing another one.
Right,
so
the other one sold for some crazy amount.
So that's the one that sold for $15 million.
Right.
At Sotheby's
but
auction.
Eddie got the original.
Eddie got the original because they finally got it back, and Eddie bought it from the estate. So that's why it's two of them out there, because Marvin wouldn't give the original back to Barnes, so Barnes had to do another.
So is Eddie Murphy going to be the documentary? He should be. Well.
Yeah, we will see things.
We will see.
We will see things.
We
no,
will see.
but we got some stuff with we won't. I'm gonna see if I can talk to Eddie about some other stuff. Yeah,
because he's part of the story now.
Yeah.
Well, your show Average Joe, I binge watched it this morning. I'm up to about episode 4. I think about 184 people have died so far. And not just died regular of old age or some disease. Heads getting cut off. People had to saw up bodies. People shot in the head in the bathroom. People getting their neck broke. Like, goddamn. The Menendez brothers executive producing this? I mean, what the hell? Like, and I'm only on episode 4. Was it 10 episodes for the first season?
Oh, shit.
My God.
Yo, shout out to everybody that's watching Average Joe on Netflix. That's another show that has taken off, man. Everybody, man, loving it. Thank you so much for everybody that's been spreading the word about it. Keep spreading the word about it, man. And, you know, we don't really see, you know, black folks in that light. You know what I mean? And so it's good to see us just in anything different, you know, and this was a labor of love. It was really intense shooting this, man. So shout out to everybody that's watched Average Joe and spread the word about it, keep spreading the word about it. And okay, Mister, keep spreading the word about my new hour special too.
Well, yeah, I remember when I looked into the history of the show, originally it was on BET.
Yes.
And we were talking about this before we started doing this interview.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a BET show, just even the way the look and feel and the color of it, you know, in terms of the way it was shot, the camera work.
Yeah.
It looks like something like an HBO kind of feeling type of show, to be honest. And I can see why it didn't really work on BET. It's also pretty morbid, like I said, extremely violent. It's not exactly Tyler Perry here, you know. And like I said, I'm only episode 4, but I'm like, okay, I gotta watch this before the interview because I'm gonna ask him about it. I can't just go in cold. But nah, it was a great show. You did a great job on it. It's a great cast overall.
Cast is phenomenal.
You know? And let me know if you guys need a Russian mobster in the next season.
On some real, man.
I can do a Russian accent. I can do a Russian accent very well.
Come fuck with us, man. Yo, shout out to the whole cast. No. Our whole cast is amazing. You know, going to this, me and the creator, Rob Cullen, we sat up and was like, man, we want to surround me around people who are phenomenal. You know what I mean? And I felt like if I get some people that are way better than me, they would make me look good. And I pulled that right out of an interview Tom Hanks did. He said, that's what I do. He said, I just get around a bunch of people way better than me, and it make me look good. And I was like, man, I want to do that same thing. And that's what we did, man. And yeah, we believed in that script, even though, you know, we had some trying times shooting that, man. But we just believed in the script, and we believed that this is gonna be something different. And if people see this, they gonna love it, you know. And yeah, people been loving it, you know.
Well, you had a comedy show, and Paul McCartney of the Beatles showed up. And you smoked your first joint in 13 years backstage with Paul McCartney. I'm lightweight jealous right now, I'll be honest. I'm lightweight jealous. Who have I smoked with? I smoked with Dave Chappelle. No, I didn't smoke. I hung out with Dave Chappelle. We never smoked. I smoked with Snoop, though.
Yeah,
Me and Snoop shared a blunt once.
That's great. That's great.
Did I smoke with Dave Chappelle? No, Dave smoked cigarettes.
Yeah. He smoked cigarettes.
So no, I didn't smoke with Dave Chappelle. Yeah. But I got to smoke with Snoop and a few other people. But smoking with Paul McCartney, I've never done. How was that?
Just as crazy as you said it.
Sounds.
No, that was crazy. Just walking up in the club, and it's like he's downstairs waiting to watch the show. Like, he came to see you, and I'm like, what?
He came just to see you.
Yeah, saw my name on the billboard.
That's what's up.
He was coming from a rehearsal. He about to do a world tour.
Wow.
And he was coming from rehearsal, and he seen my name. It's like this, man, I like that guy. The guy's funny. Let's go see him.
They charged him at the door, they let him in free.
I don't even know. I have no idea. He was just sitting down there, and I was like, came upstairs. They was all like the manager there, Liz, she was like, yo, Paul McCartney's here. And I'm like this. Like, yeah, I'm like, quit playing. I'm like, tell him to come in. She brought him up there, and he was like, hey, what's going on? And I was like, And then I was like, again, I had that moment. These are just regular people. Just be normal.
Go to the bathroom and talk to myself.
Yo, and I was normal as fuck. I smoked with him. And
he smokes weed, huh?
Yeah, he was like, mind if I partake? Like, yeah, pulled it out. We was smoking, talking, going back and forth. And then I went downstairs and bombed terribly. Not a laugh in the place for a whole hour.
Because you were nervous.
I was high, and I ain't smoked in 13 years. I had to do it with him.
Oh, plus you smoking his shit. So he probably got some.
But yeah, it was a very
shit.
dainty. It was a very dainty joint. It was already rolled. It wasn't like the middle was thicker and the ends. It was even kill. Like, and we smoked that shit, and then afterwards, brought him on stage, and we just had fun. Even when we was upstairs, we was hanging out, kicking in and shit, you know. But I think if I had to speak for him, and I feel this way, it was such a real moment. Wasn't nobody around there like, oh my God. We was all like, because nobody knew he was there.
Huh.
But we was all like, and I was treating him like, after we smoked, I was over there like, motherfucker, cut it out. You know, like talking to him like that. You know, he'll say something, and I'll be like, motherfucker, cut out. And he'll be like, no, I'm for real, man. I'm like, get that shit out of here. Like, I was talking to him like that, and because of that moment being so real, I think he appreciated a real moment. And he appreciated me bombing because I wasn't just up there trying to kill in front of him.
Huh.
I went up there and did the shit that I wasn't sure about, that I didn't believe in, you know, and it didn't work. And he was like, this is great, because it's a real moment. You know what I mean? I think anybody else would go up there and do they hot shit, you know, because he's in the place. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like, nah, we're just gonna keep it real.
Well, I'd always heard this story, and when you hear these stories over the years, you're not sure if they're true or not, if it's just urban legend, but you actually had the conversation with him about how Michael Jackson bought the Beatles publishing.
Yeah.
And he actually told you that really happened.
Actually sat there and told me the actual story. He was like, when he met Michael, he was a kid. And he said after that, he said Mike was just, you know, He was just kid-like. He said after he grew up, he still was like kid-like, and they had a relationship. And he said Mike used to play with his kids, and they'd be like cool and hanging out and, you know, everything. And he said as Michael got older, they decided, you know, to make a few songs. That's how he said it.
Like say.
He said, yeah, you know, we decided to make, you know, just a few songs. And I'm like, a few
ended up on
songs?
Thriller.
I'm like, this motherfucker, cut it out. That was one of them times I was real with it. Motherfucker, cut it out. I'm like, y'all had culture shifting goddamn songs.
Yeah.
He was like this. You know, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the song. Say. And all like, they had some hits. They're like 3-4 songs, you know?
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I love them songs. And then he was like, one day they was at a party and they was in a courtyard. And he said he was just talking to him about his money, his finances. It was like, yo, you know, you should really get on your money. And, you know, publishing is where it's at. And he was like this. Yeah, he was like, yeah, buy as much publishing as possible. And Mike was like, I should buy yours. And he was like, ah. Mike bought it. It's like, wow.
I actually looked it up. Michael Jackson paid $47 million for the Beatles catalog. To be able to cut a $47 million check. This is in the 80s, by the way.
In the 80s.
So this is like $100 million
So
today.
this is like, shit, this is like $200 million a day.
Yeah. Yeah. He bought the Beatles catalog. And I guess like Paul wanted him, you know, now that he bought it, to give a few more points, a little extra money.
So Paul was like, he was upset that he bought it.
Why was he upset?
He just was like,
Paul didn't own it either.
Paul was like, no, now I know, but Paul was like, damn, not ours. Like, we was telling you to go buy some other motherfuckers shit. Like, not ours. But then Paul was like, you know what? This might be a good thing because at least my friend bought it. So then because he said him and John, they signed some, their deals wasn't great.
Yeah.
You know, and he was like, and that was wild to hear him to say that. Music business is so fucked up, man. But anyway, for him to be like, yeah, we didn't sign really great deals, so, you know, we thought, you know, hey, he's our friend. He bought it. Let's go ask him. And they asked him, and he said, Mike was like, no, this is business. And wouldn't give it to him. And he was like, all right, fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Well, I guess from Mike's point of view, I just spent $47 million. Like, I'm trying to get this money back.
$47 million.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
And people listen.
He was a powerful motherfucker, man.
Look, like,
Mike was.
The 20-year-olds that are listening to this right now don't understand how big the Beatles were.
They don't even
like
understand.
Taylor Swift on steroids.
It's like Taylor Swift on steroids.
Yes.
If you think Taylor Swift is large, the Beatles was like out of this world.
Yes.
Like, I don't even know really, what can you can compare it to Michael Jackson in the 80s.
Yeah, they were
Michael in the
Jackson,
80s was out of this world.
In the they were the 70s version of Michael Jackson.
But what is compared to the right now? Taylor Swift? That's about the largest,
Taylor
right?
Swift, yeah, that's really who you could really think of. Like,
Beyonce, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, no, bigger than Beyonce, bigger than Kanye.
Bigger than any of these people.
Travis Scott, bigger than The Weeknd.
Yeah, the Beatles was on another page.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. What's interesting, though, I don't know if you heard this, but Lisa Marie Presley, I guess they put out a memoir of hers after she died. You know about this?
Mm-mm.
And she claims that when she married Michael Jackson, he was still a virgin at 35.
Get out.
That's what she says. Well, that's what she said in her memoir. She passed away.
Right.
Do you believe that on any level? Michael Jackson.
I don't know, man.
Sounds weird.
I don't know, man. You know,
Then again, Michael wasn't the most regular guy either.
Mike dated Stephanie.
Stephanie Mills.
Yeah. Stephanie Mills was with Mike before anybody.
Did he smash?
I don't know.
I guess we gotta find out.
We gotta ask her. Look, but I'll tell you this much. Stephanie was with Mike, and Mike left Stephanie to become large. You get what I mean? Because they were saying he can't blow up and be where he want to be just dating Stephanie. He got to go get a white woman or somebody large in order to risk his shit.
But that was later because I looked it up. So he met Stephanie Mills while they were doing the Broadway production of The Wiz.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was way before.
Right.
He was what, a teenager at the time?
Yeah. And they was dating, but they dated for a while. But he and Stephanie, you got to interview Stephanie.
We have an interview with her.
No, you got to do it again then, because Stephanie will tell you that he wrote a whole thing down of what he plans to do and what he has to do in order to be big. He wanted to be the biggest thing that this world has ever seen.
Here we go. So you're right. I didn't do the interview. My man Sean Perez, who does interviews for me sometimes on the channel. But yeah, Stephanie Mills talking about dating Michael Jackson, and Mike started dating white women as a career move.
Looking back, are you surprised that you and Michael dated?
I'm not surprised back then because he was black then. Mm-hmm. And his mother wanted him to date black. You know what I'm saying? To be with a black girl. And they really liked us being together. But Michael wanted so much more, is why we probably went our separate ways. He wanted to be the biggest star in the world. And he wanted to associate with certain people that I didn't want to associate with. So we just went in different paths. We went in different paths. And then when sorry.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I actually heard you say that once before. You said he wanted to associate with people you didn't want to associate with.
Yeah.
Who were these people? Were they executives? Who are these people that you are referring to?
Can I just leave it at they're people that he liked and would go to their houses and stuff, and I wasn't particularly interested in going. You know what I'm saying? And he wanted to be a certain way. You know, he wanted to be a certain way, and he lived his life the way he wanted to. You know, he liked a certain type of woman and thought that it would be best for him in his career to be with certain types of women.
You're absolutely right. She actually talked about this in the interview.
Thank you.
The question is whether they actually had sex or not. I don't know if that actually
was
mentioned in the interview. I don't know if she wants to talk about that.
Man,
but
you should bring her on.
Is the story?
Yeah.
Is the Lisa Marie story?
I want to know if he smashed too. Don't be smashing my baby, man.
Y'all had your moment on the
my
Breakfast
baby
Club.
now and shit.
Well, you talked about how comedy beef is a real thing, and you've had situations where you weren't booked on certain shows because there was comedians that you had problems with.
Yeah.
Does that happen often?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. Comics get into it all the goddamn time, man. Who going last? Who going first? How much time somebody did? I remember I had gotten into it with this comic recently, right? Recently. What the fuck am I getting into it with comedians for, right? I got into it maybe about a year ago. I got into it with this comic because I was on stage, right? I guess this comic was supposed to be a headliner, right? I'm on stage performing, and nobody's giving me the light to get off stage. I'm just up there performing. I don't even know this motherfucker's on the show or not. But I'm doing my shit. They finally give me the light. I get off and I go. He was mad at me, talking about like I didn't respect him and I didn't respect the light and all this other shit and who do I think I am. And I'm like this, ain't nobody even know you was in the building. And I'm like, why you always got a problem with me? Like anytime I'm around, you got a problem with me and shit, you know?
Can you say who it is?
Yeah,
Can you say who it is?
Nah,
okay.
Nah, I ain't
Fair,
gonna
you can tell me off camera.
Oh yeah. So I'm like why? And so it's always this bicker with comedians. It'd be like, I don't know what it be, man, but it's like, man, like it's enough room for everybody. Everybody's successful in their own right. Everybody's doing their own thing. You're making money doing what you're making money doing what you love. That's the win out the gate.
Well, you saw it with D.L. Hughley.
You upset?
You saw it with D.L. Hughley and Monique, right? Remember the whole back and forth they had over whose name was
crazy.
You know, who closed out the show, and he said he didn't care, but she made a whole big deal out of it. And look, I've had, listen, I've talked about this before. I've had my problems with Monique and her husband. We did an interview just like how we're doing now, and how you were handed the release form, you filled it out, no problem.
Right.
Her husband said, "Oh, we just want our lawyer to look over, afterwards." And I grudgingly said yes. They came back with, "We're gonna own the footage and we'll let you use it for a while." And I said, "Are you crazy right now? You didn't film this. This was never the agreement. Like,
right.
You're gonna own after the fact. You're gonna pull this bullshit. You're gonna own my footage." I'm like, "Fuck this footage."
Yeah.
So it never came out. I wasted money, and whatever.
Wow, that's crazy.
But this is the bullshit that you deal with sometimes when
it's just
people get feel like they don't have to respect other people. Basically,
I mean, and let me ask you this. Speaking of that, I ain't trying to throw you under the bus and nothing like that, but I do want to know what was that shit? Why you do that shit to Marlon, man?
Okay, so the Marlon thing.
That was some bullshit. Why would you Marlon Wayans, dog?
Yeah, man.
You probably was thinking like Marlon. I don't know what the fuck you was thinking, but it's Marlon Wayans.
I've talked about this before, but I'll address it since you asked me.
Okay.
We're friends. I respect you.
Yes.
Look, at the end of the day, I was being an asshole.
Great.
I was being an asshole, and I apologized both publicly to Marlon, and I texted him and privately apologized to him as well.
He hit you back?
No. That's okay. You know what I mean? People, if I apologize to someone, I'm not expecting a reaction. It's something that I felt I had to do. The situation was we had reached out to Marlon to do an interview, and he had us work with one of his people, and the person who came back said that Marlon wanted $40,000 plus 30% of all my future revenue to do an hour interview. And I was like, "Listen, I'd rather just you say that you don't fuck with me, rather than give me a number which honestly made no sense."
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was upset about it. So I ended up kind of making that conversation public, and then he responded and so forth. But at the end of the day, Marlon can charge whatever he wants to charge.
Right.
And I was just being an asshole, and I got into my feelings. And, for people like yourself and Marlon and other comedians, interviews is what you guys just do on the side. It's not your real career. Right? You guys do it in order to promote certain things. And, you work with who you want to work for. Like, you don't charge me for interviews. You know what I'm saying? We do it because we respect each other. And you respect the platform.
Right.
And I feel, like, I have a platform I've built up, and I've had lots of very, legendary comedians on my show. But at the end of the day, this is all I do. And I've devoted, a third of my life to this. So sometimes I get in my feelings.
Yeah, I get it.
When it comes to me not being able to do something I really want to do, and I really respect Marlon, and I think he is a legend. And I felt when he came back with that number, I took it overly personally.
Yeah.
And I overreacted.
Yeah.
And like I said, I publicly apologized.
That's good, as long as you did that, man.
And I did that.
I mean, what else can you do after that?
Yeah,
you
man,
know
listen,
what I mean?
I get in my feelings, and I'm at the time I was also going through some really serious personal shit at the time, so I'm sure that probably played a role in it. But man, we all mess up.
We all mess up.
We all mess up.
And Marlon, you admit it and
he
keep
responded
it moving.
the way he responded publicly, and he cracked some jokes on me, and I cracked some jokes on him. But ultimately, man, we're all human. We all get in our feelings. And I do respect Marlon, and he is a legend.
And that's dope. And I tell people all the time, man, your emotions to keep you broke than a motherfucker. They will keep you. I talk about it in my new hour that I'm doing. Your emotions will keep you broke than a motherfucker. And I tell people, I'll be like, dude, when you texting and typing, and you emotional, don't do it.
Yeah.
Because you go from a thought to texting or emailing, and now you have a tangible thing that shows how you really feel. You know what I mean? That this shit can be Xerox copied and everything now.
Yeah.
So
especially when it spills into social media, then other people chime in and so forth. Like I said, man, I got emotional.
Yeah.
You know,
but we all do it.
And I still stand behind what I did. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I still think that the number he gave me was excessive. You know what I'm saying? But that's his number, and he's allowed to ask for what he asked for.
Yeah.
And yeah, man.
So
you know,
good.
I was being an asshole.
Yeah,
that's it.
No.
That's it. I was being
that's
an
all
asshole.
motherfucking
I was being
for,
extra.
Man. Yeah.
And you know, if we run into each other, we can have a conversation about it in person. You know, I'm not gonna duck him.
Keep it moving.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna keep it moving. At the end of the day, his career is gonna progress the way he is. My career has progressed the way it is. No one got canceled. Everyone's still multimillionaires. And everyone lives in mansions. You know, it's two rich people fighting, arguing over money that, you know, it takes most working people a year to actually make.
Absolutely.
And it's just, it's a little bit
Champagne
silly.
problem.
And you know, but he was actually a gentleman. We actually spoke about it before, and I was just an asshole, and it is what it is.
Keep it moving.
That's what it is. And, you know, hopefully that answers your question in a...
Thank you very much. When you said respecting and comedians, it just made me think to ask.
Exactly.
Okay, go ahead.
Exactly, man.
Let's go.
And look, and I feel, and this is not me talking, this is people like TK Kirkland and so forth that have said that being on Vlad TV over time has really helped and even transformed their careers.
Yeah.
Because we have a big platform. I've always embraced comedians. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Over and over and over again.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
People like Gary Spears, who are regular on my show, TK Kirkland, who's a regular on my show. You know, I've had John Witherspoon on my show. You've been on my show a bunch of times.
Yeah. You got some legendary shit.
I've had
man.
legendary people.
Shit.
You know what I'm saying? And, you know, if you respect what we've done,
right,
then, you know, you're welcome on my show.
There
you know?
it is.
But unfortunately, when it comes to the world of YouTube, certain numbers don't always work.
Right.
And I think in his case, and the person that approached us, they were using numbers based on what he gets for like a live performance. And that doesn't always coincide with what YouTube will get you.
Right.
No one's coming in and paying a fee at the door.
Right.
They're not buying pizza and, you know, and chicken fingers.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no 2-drink
Beer,
minimum. And there's
drinks,
no meet
merch.
and greet. And there's no merch.
Yeah.
And so forth. So ultimately, someone who is not familiar with this game are going to skew their numbers based on what they are familiar with. It doesn't always coincide. So I think that there was a little bit of a disconnect in terms of that. But like I said, I was being an asshole. And
as long as you know that, and
I do know that.
And you admit it,
and I admit it. I've admitted it publicly multiple times. I'm admitting it again.
I was at home with some chips, looking at that shit like, now, why the fuck would Vlad say shit like that? Can't wait to talk to that motherfucker.
It's all good, man. Life goes on, man.
Life goes on. Life goes
and the internet is on fire for a few days, and the next week,
it's all good.
No one gives a shit.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I've been through so many cancel cycles throughout my career. And, you know, at the end of the day, life goes on. Shout out to Marlon, man. I'm a big fan, which is the reason why I reached out in the first place.
Yeah, man.
You know
I was just with the big homie, man.
Yeah.
Marlon.
Tell him I said what's up.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shout out to Craig, Marlon, the whole crew.
There was a situation where you confronted a comedian in St. Louis for stealing your jokes.
Yeah.
What happened exactly?
I told this story before, but I got a big brother in this comedy game. This guy named Kenny Howe, right? Started together. Well, he started before me in Chicago. And he had moved to St. Louis. And I came down to St. Louis, and he was like, man, let's meet up at this club. Not a club, it was some kind of banquet hall or something, but I guess they had a show or something going on. I show up, Kenny got like 15 motherfuckers with him. They all like hanging out. I mean, they all walking up together. I don't know none of them, I just know Kenny. We all walk in together. It's a guy on stage doing my material. And I'm like...
They just straight up your material?
Verbatim.
Huh.
And it was a joke that I already put on TV. I just couldn't understand why he would do it. He get off stage and I catch him in the back. We all go in the back. And I'm like, man, why would you do my material? And he was like this. I said, don't act like you don't know my shit. I'm like, you know who I am, don't you? He was like this, yeah. I said, and you know what the fuck I do? He was like, yeah. I'm like, so why would you do my joke? I wasn't doing it. I said, say you don't know what the fuck I do again, or you don't know you do. I would slap the shit out of you, like right now. Like on some real shit.
So you were that angry over it?
Dude, I was very angry because, motherfucker, you taking money out of my pocket. Well, and then I get booked down to St. Louis and I perform in front of these people and they go, well, we heard this already? And it's you doing the shit? That's how that shit be. So I was like, and I be on some, dude, I be real calm, but I be on my Chicago shit. I be like, I'm gonna slap the shit out of you, like in real life, like right now. And the dude behind him pulled a gun out.
Oh.
And I was like, oh shit, all these motherfuckers got guns, and I ran.
So you just up and ran.
I ran, and then Kenny hollered while I was running, he with us. The dude with the gun was with us.
Oh. He should have ran, not you.
He should have ran, not me. But it was 15 motherfuckers. I ain't know who was who. Like, but the dude put the gun out to put on the dude, and I ran. And the dude was like, what the fuck? I was like, yeah, I ain't coming back down to St. Louis. Especially on the comedy scene. Them niggas in St. Louis is still probably talking about this. Get your pussy ass out of here. Yeah, that was an embarrassing moment, Jack.
Well, I remember I interviewed D.L. Hughley recently. That's my man.
Yeah, shout out to the big bro, DL, man. Love him.
He lives down the street from me, actually.
Yeah, it's my big bro.
Yeah, it's my big bro, too. He basically said that every comedian steals jokes at one point. And he even said how at one point he was stealing Robin Harris's jokes and Tommy Davidson confronted him over it. And he tried to play it off like it wasn't, but he said in reality he actually was stealing some of Robin Harris's jokes. And he said every comedian does it to a certain extent. Now, stealing a whole routine is a little different.
Right.
But stealing jokes here and there, he said everyone does it somewhat.
But I don't know anyone who has stolen the jokes.
So you've stolen jokes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who did you steal from?
I was a kid. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, I used to take Robert, when I first started out 30 years ago, it was Robin Harris.
Aha.
Yeah. And I remember Tommy Davidson, we were at this place. It's not even open no more. It was on Encino and Balboa in the Valley. And Tommy Davidson came up to me and goes, I think I've been doing comedy maybe a year. And Tommy Davidson came up to me and he said, hey man, you know that's Robin Harris stuff. And I wanted to fight Tommy, but he was right. And right then and there I learned I'm not doing that no more. So I know that everybody, so I can only say, I cannot say that everybody steals jokes, but I can say everybody I know I've seen do stuff that I've seen other people do.
I mean, would you say that's true?
I'm gonna give a hard no on that one.
Okay. For example, I remember in your new special, Okay, Mister.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about how if you see a black woman with a white man, you're like, go ahead, girl, get your credit fixed, right?
Mm-hmm.
That reminded me a little bit of an old Chris Rock special where he says, if you see a younger black woman with an older white man, her credit is fucked up.
That's funny.
And it kind of reminded me of a little bit. I'm not saying you took it, but it was like, it kind of reminded me of the joke. And that Chris Rock joke is from
So
way
you
back.
have jokes and you have premises, right? So that premise is what it really is. And anybody in that situation, it's your rendition of how you feel when you know what I mean? When you see a black woman with a white man, you're going, oh, instantly, you getting your credit together. Anybody gonna think that.
Right.
But your execution of it is what makes it your joke.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I'm not saying you took it from Chris Rock, but it's just like,
I get it.
It's a general topic.
No, but it's topics and there's premises and then there's jokes.
Execution.
Yeah, and the execution makes it your joke. You get what I mean? Like it's how I executed that. But the premise, there's premises out there that motherfuckers is talking, everybody using the same. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers is talking about fucking Trump right now.
Right.
Or whatever's in the J-Lo or Ben Affleck. Like, everybody is starting their shit off with the same goddamn premise. But how they end that shit, the resurrection, what's that? the people at the White House, they was rushing the White House, Trump, the insurrection. Yeah. Everybody got a fucking insurrection.
Trump talking about Haitians
pandemic, mask, your breath.
Yeah.
Everybody got it.
Yes.
But it's the execution of that shit that makes it their bit. You know what I mean? So if Big Bro is saying that people steal jokes, I don't condone that. I don't think that. But everybody has used the same premise or different
Well, he actually
premises.
admitted to stealing Robin Harris's jokes.
Oh yeah, he probably if like me personally,
and he's okay with that. Like
and that's fine with him. Yeah. But first of all, that's one reason why I don't watch comedians.
Oh, because you don't want to.
I don't watch nobody. You would never really just unless I'm there already. If I'm at a comedy club performing and whoever performs after me or before me, I'll see them. But I wouldn't just purposely get out my bed and go, "Oh, I'm gonna go check out such and such." Like I don't even want to see what you're talking about because I don't want nobody thinking that I'm stealing from them, taking from them, any of that. You know what I mean? And so I don't do that at all.
Fair enough. But for example, I've had Carlos Mencia on my show a couple times, and he is an example of someone that legitimately got canceled over an accusation of stealing jokes. Because remember when Joe Rogan literally went on stage with him?
Yeah.
And that
I remember that footage.
You remember that, right?
Yeah.
And like he went from doing, big venues arenas to doing small clubs in middle America.
Yeah.
And from having a TV show that was right there with the Chappelle show to, taking a big cut. Now these days he's kind of building back up again. He's got a residency in Vegas and so forth.
Right.
And he even talked about how Joe Rogan, his new special, actually is getting accused of stealing jokes as well. So it's all kind of coming full circle.
Yeah.
But I mean, do you feel that this is a real thing? And do you had your situation, but for example, with Carlos Mencia, do you think that he really was stealing jokes, or do you think that people played it up in their own way?
I don't really, again, I watched him before. I actually performed with him before. And I don't know whose jokes he's taking because I don't watch nobody. You get what I mean? So I don't know who he's taking from. But if everybody's going, yeah, he still jokes or whatever, then if 15 motherfuckers is saying it, you gotta, at some point you gotta go, okay, what's up? And they got receipts. It's like you have to look at it that way. You know what I mean? And so that's why if anybody watch any of my specials, even my OK Mister that's out now, it's fucking evergreen as shit.
Yeah, I haven't heard any of the jokes that you've told. Aside from the Chris Rock thing, which I found a little,
but the premise
similar but different. Yeah,
my whole shit be different. It be evergreen. You're really not going. You don't hear me talking about the pandemic. You don't hear me talking about Trump. You don't hear me talking about. I don't talk about none of that shit.
You were leaning into who you are, your age,
where
you are in your life.
Observational. Comedy about my life and where I am and what's going on. And doing it in a clever way and a relatable way. And that's all I deal with because I don't want to deal with all that other stuff out there because I'm quite sure it's 16 motherfuckers writing jokes about, whatever's in the news right now. You know what I mean? And they all starting off with the same premise and every weekend somebody's going to do the same joke. Like right now, well, no, I don't even want to get up. But yeah, it's a lot of jokes going on about motherfuckers. And so it's like everybody doing the same shit though.
Well, yeah, right now there's the Diddy situation, which I think that you're trying not to say. You're trying not to say it.
I'm trying to get out. I knew your ass was going to
stop yourself from saying it. Have you ever been to a Diddy party?
Yeah, I've been.
Have you ever been to the after party?
Man, yes.
Oh,
but
okay.
Wasn't no
freak off.
Yeah, it wasn't no crazy shit.
No, you never been no freak off?
Nah, I ain't never been no crazy shit. You know, he hosted the Billboard Awards.
Okay.
And I wrote for that. I wrote that.
For him?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so my whole thing was, when I write for people, I don't just write jokes for them. I learned this from writing for Conan for like 9 years. I look at the person as a character, right? And instead of me writing jokes for them, what I do is I just sit around them and I listen to them because they be saying shit and don't even remember what they be saying. I jot down what they say. It might be just verbiage.
So you were hanging around Diddy.
So that was my pitch to him. First of all, how the story even happened, how I even started writing for him, this Dave Chappelle ass. Dave was like this. Me and Dave was performing at the Bowl. Remember that Dave got the dude jumped on tackle.
Oh, okay.
So at the Bowl, we was at the Bowl, right?
Okay.
And Dave, I show up and Dave was like, yo, Puff wants you to write something for him. And I was like, oh yeah. I was like, what? He was like, he wants your number so he can ask you. And I was like, yeah. So he gave him the number and he was like, man, I'm about to host the Billboard Awards. Want to know if you want to write. And I said, oh, okay, cool. So I was like, Dave, why you ain't doing it? And Dave was like, you just do it. And I was like, all right.
So
like,
Dave was offering it first.
Yeah, Dave was offering it first. Dave was like, no. So I was like, all right, I'll do it. You know, fuck it. You know, so I go.
The comments about to be crazy because Dave already knew.
No.
He sacrificed Dion Cole.
No, see, David, like, look, so no, don't do that, y'all, don't do that. No, so I ended up, you know, hitting Puff like, yo, but Puff was already a fan of mine, you know, like he just loved my work or whatever. So that's why he was like, yeah. So when I got with him and I was telling him, I was like, man, this is how I plan to write, because he had other writers too, and I was like, this is how I'm gonna do the shit. I'm gonna be around you. And whatever you say, I'm gonna pick up on it and I'm gonna write it down, because the more real you are, the less rehearsed we gonna be. And I'd rather for you to be as real as possible, and that's how we gonna do it. And he was like, oh shit, man, that'd be great. I said, I got you. So I'll be around him and he'll say shit like, man, I like Winergy. He'll be like, I love Winergy. And I would be like, man, that's a great word to use. And I would write that down. And then in the monologue, he would say these things that I heard him say that he was just on the cuff saying, you know what I mean? And so we broke down the whole monologue for it to be like that or whatever. So that was my thing. But by me saying that, he wanted me to constantly be around, and I was. And that is by far one of the most inspirational motherfuckers I ever been around in my life. I ain't never seen none of that shit that everybody talking about. That's just me. But I was around. I'll be around like 3, 4 in the morning. Studio, dance studio, at his house, all that shit. And we sit up and we write, and we'll write. I'll go over there at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, sometime at 3, just whenever he ain't have no Ciroc shit to do or whatever. And we write and write. He was compulsive as fuck as far as like, nah, do it again. I ain't like that shit. But other than that, I was like, you gotta trust me to write this shit. And after a while he did, and we had it together. But as far as like all that shit that's going on in the news, I ain't never see that shit.
Yeah, I mean, look, I know a few people that are around Puff that work for him, you know, at Bad Boy, and they said they've never seen any of that either. But honestly, that makes perfect sense, because it's like, how much you know about DJ Vlad's sex life?
You get what I'm saying? Like,
because I don't,
not like, and
no one was there. Man, like, unless the people that were there.
Man, I was inspired around that man the whole goddamn time I was around him, because he would say shit like, man, he'd be like, man, don't let these haters fuck with you. Let them know. You know, I tell him, we had the same 24 hours, motherfucker. Don't be mad at me. You know, he would tell me, like, spend your money on freeing up your time in life. Don't spend your money on clothes and shit all the goddamn time. He's like, get you a driver, get you somebody to clean your house, do your taxes. He said, these are moments in your day that I spent that you can spend on yourself. And if you got more time to think, the more money you can make. He was like, so spend your money on freeing up your time. And that's what he did. He was like, man, keep you a driver, keep you this, keep you that. And I was like, man, that's real shit. So he would teach me shit like that and just show me like, and that made sense to me too, where he was like, we all had the same 24 hours, motherfucker. Like, what did you do with your 24 hours? Don't be mad at me if I got money and you don't. You had the same 24 hours as I had. So it was those kind of inspirational, inspiring shits that he would say to me that I'd be like, man, like, this motherfucker dope. And I ain't been around a bunch of billionaires. You know, that's the only billionaire I really been around. So to see billionaire behavior like that was like dope to me. You know what I mean? Again, billionaire behavior, like being on a plane and the motherfucker smoking weed. I'm on the nigga jet, nigga smoking weed. I ain't never seen nigga smoke weed on the jet. This motherfucker like, you looking at the freest nigga alive. I'm like, God damn, this nigga smoking on a jet, chilling. I would leave this motherfucker and go home and just be like, man, I just wanna create and do some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I remember he came to one of my shows I had, man. That motherfucker showed up. I remember all these dudes coming in there, sweeping the whole goddamn place. They was every door. And I'm like, who is these niggas? And they just like, everywhere, looking. Then they came up and they was like, yeah, Puff here. And I was like this, oh shit, he came to my show? They was like, yeah. I was like, damn, for real? Yeah. Puff came in a motherfucker, jacket on his shoulders. Told you I was coming, yeah, man, I'm here to support. And on some real cool shit. Sat in the audience with everybody. When he came out, everybody's like, oh shit, Puff, like, and I'm not saying, I just never seen none of that shit. But I never seen all that freak off shit and all that shit they talking about, man.
Look, I think that what people have to realize is that law enforcement is reactionary. If you are in the news, be it a documentary like R. Kelly or a public lawsuit like Cassie, and you're super famous already, you will suddenly get on the radar of law enforcement. And they will start digging based on all the publicity, all the negative publicity that you're getting. If it wasn't for that Cassie lawsuit being released and you start hearing about how he blew up Kid Cudi's car and a bunch of other crazy shit that you just didn't knew even happened, and that really happened because I talked to someone who was with Kid Cudi when he got the call that his car blew up.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? Not to say that Puff did it, but Puff probably did it. But I was just saying, like, when all this crazy shit comes out, you better be prepared for bad things to start happening to you in terms of them digging stuff up. And people are going to say that I'm defending Puffy because I'm somehow involved in the freak offs myself or whatever else. Because whenever you say some shit, oh, Vlad's trying to hide because he's involved in it. I remember I was on Piers Morgan recently and
oh yeah, you was.
Yeah, Jaguar Wright was on there saying that Jay-Z is a bigger monster than Puffy and he is blah blah. And I said, this is all conspiracy theory bullshit. This is a crazy person you're dealing with. Of course, everyone starts getting on me. Oh, Vlad's trying to hide. No, I'm not trying to hide. I just know what crazy sounds like. But like, you know, look, R. Kelly recently got his appeal rejected. So he's going to do those 20 years. And you know R. Kelly as well. Were you around any of the crazy shit? I'm sure you weren't.
Again.
I'm sure you weren't. This is the relationship, like the relationship me and you have. I don't know what you do in your private life.
Yeah, you don't.
I don't.
And likewise.
You know?
Yeah.
We do work here. We spend a few hours talking. If you want to go and have a foursome with midgets, I don't know that happened. You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you this. I just think people don't realize what what charges are nowadays. You know what I mean? Like, you have to look up sex trafficking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, do you really know what that means?
Right. If you fly a girl out and you give her some money, that could technically be sex trafficking. And I can understand why Don Lemon would say, no, I never did that. But I'm sure Don Lemon flew a guy out at some point and gave him some money, took him shopping or some shit like that. Don, you know you did it. You know you did it, Don. It's okay.
Don, stop.
It's okay, Don.
So look. No, but if you don't know, you get what I mean? It's like I think motherfuckers just don't know. Like I advise every man out there to go look up what sex trafficking is, because I believe the rule has changed.
No, listen.
And I'm not saying that like in a good way, but I'm just saying like I think everybody. I was sitting up with Judge Mathis one day, and he was like, I had to look it up. Look, me and Judge Mathis was talking. Judge Mathis was like, I had to look up what sex trafficking was. And he did, because it's different than the way that it was.
I interviewed Sugar Free.
Yeah.
Who was a pimp, right? Self-confessed pimp and everything. And I said, when did you decide to stop pimping? He said, when they renamed it to human trafficking. I said, I was done. I said, because that name sounds a lot worse than pimping. 12 years ago, you stopped doing this. Have they changed the laws in terms of human trafficking and stuff like that since then?
They just switched it to human trafficking. I seen it coming from a mile away.
So you know what I'm talking about.
From a mile away.
What changed? Explain to me when they started calling it human trafficking, what changed overall?
I mean, the name is scary.
It is. Right.
It's fucking scary. It's fucking scary. From pimping and pandering. I mean,
human trafficking.
A bitch get a loitering ticket and, you know, go about her way. But, you know, the game got so disrespectful. You know what I mean? You know, we wasn't brought up to pimp on no minors. You know what I'm saying? We wasn't brought up to, you know, do certain things that has evolved in the generations. We wasn't taught those things, you know. You know, a lot of it's disrespectful. And, but yeah, I seen it taking a turn, and sure enough, man, yeah, here they come.
And luckily,
you got out, trafficking.
And you got out the way.
The word human. Wow, you know, human.
Yeah.
Human trafficking.
Yo, on some real shit.
And that's when he left the game.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Everybody has to go look at what the new laws is and how they change these laws, because there's some motherfuckers that's out there doing that shit, and it's like you don't even know what you're doing because you've been doing it for so long. You like ain't nothing wrong. You know what I mean? But man, you want to go look and see what it is.
It's wild. The fact that he doesn't have a bail blew me away, because I thought for sure he'd get a bail. The fact that he's right now, when me and you are hanging out and we're gonna go, you know, eat what we want afterwards. Right. He's in a jail cell right now.
It's
eating
crazy.
Jail food.
That's crazy,
you know?
right?
Drug use. It's been established that he's a drug user. He went to rehab.
So if you want to like just basically have sex with a person, right? How do you fly somebody out and say, "Hey, meet me in Colorado, and we're gonna have sex," and then that's it? Like mature adults, how do you do that? Can that be done?
I mean,
that can be done, right?
That can
be
done.
As long as you don't give money.
Correct? What if you take her shopping afterwards? Then is that sex trafficking? What if you pay for a dinner? Is that sex trafficking?
These are the questions that I'm asking you, Vlad. This is what I'm saying.
If you give her a few dollars just because you're generous, is that dating or is it sex trafficking?
And that's what I'm asking.
Crazy.
So
it's a little crazy.
It's a little fucking crazy.
It's a little fucking crazy.
So that's why I'm trying to go. Somebody need to come out and go, let us give you all the new rules.
Yeah.
So everybody will know what the fuck this is. Because if you ask the average guy, he gonna do what you just did, which is, I think is when you fly a girl. Fuck all that, I think.
Yeah.
We need to know exactly what the law is and what it is now and how it changed. So motherfuckers should know, because how do you go consensually go have sex with somebody outside the state and just be with them and have a good time?
Yeah.
Without it being sex trafficking.
Listen, I feel you, man. And the fact that, you know, there's this one lawyer who has 120 victims, exactly 120 victims.
Exactly 120.
You know, and
Yeah.
You see all these ambulance chaser lawyers who claim they have tapes and this and that and stuff like that is being shopped. Number one, you can't shop a sex tape, okay? Because you can't release it unless both people sign off on it.
Right.
You think Diddy's signing off on any sex tapes right now? So you're shopping nothing. It's all, it's a lot of lawyers who no one's ever heard of, who suddenly are getting a little bit of promo by jumping on this bandwagon.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to name the names.
Right.
Because a lot of them talk shit about me as well when I said this. And it's really, it's nasty work on a certain level.
Nasty work.
It's nasty work. And like I said,
you just don't know what's real and what's not.
I have yet to and that's the thing. Like now we'll probably find out in court what happened, but I'm really trying to understand what exactly. It's a RICO with one person. How do you have a RICO with one person? It's a little bit confusing what exactly he's being charged with.
Dude, would you talk about like Thug?
No. RICO's one of his charges. He's charged with a RICO. How do you have a one-man RICO? The word organization is in RICO. You see what I'm saying?
I do. I don't know what's going on in this world. That's why I tell people. I be like, I'm here visiting.
Right.
I'm down on earth visiting right now.
And the problem is,
I don't. It's like the lies are the truth.
Right.
The truth is being scorned.
Right.
What's truthful? What's not? What's the law? What's not the law?
Look, and then
just
you have,
like, yo.
And then you have people like Jaguar Wright who will say a million crazy things over the course of a couple years, like Jay-Z got Big L killed, which is silly. And, all this other, Jay-Z's a murderer and whatever else. She'll say 1,000 crazy things. And one of those things was, Diddy is this. And then it comes to, she's a prophet. She knew the whole time. Same thing with Cat Williams. He went on Club Shay Shay and spouted off a whole bunch of things about every major comedian. And one of the things he said was about Diddy. See, Cat Williams, he called it. He knew. Let's not talk about the 30 other nonsense topics he talked about in that interview that have no merit whatsoever. But the fact that he said 1 out of 100 things that ended up becoming true, suddenly it's the whole conspiracy and the lie has been exposed and people love this shit.
Listen, people listen to what they want to listen to.
Right.
That's what they want to do. They will sit and listen to a whole interview and pinpoint one thing and that's it. Yeah. But that's how the world is, It's so odd. When I'm on stage, when I'm performing, the whole room can be laughing, right? The one guy that's not, that's the motherfucker I'm focused on.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
So you're trying to make him laugh.
Why isn't he laughing? Why is his arms folded? Why did he come to this motherfucker? The whole room dying. But this one motherfucker, you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like that with the way people talk and people listen to a whole shit and wait for that one thing.
Yes.
That one thing stands out, debunks the whole interview.
Throw everything away.
Throw everything else away.
Throw everything else away. But
that's how the human mind works. You zero in on that one thing, and it's not fair, but it is. And even when I'm on stage, I have to look at that person. I have to just go. I have to get in my mind, what's 1 out of fucking 3,000 and shit. You know what I mean? Let me keep it motherfucking moving and shit. But people need to know that you can't just zone in. It's like everybody want negative shit. They want something to talk about. They want something to, it's like everybody talking too much. It's a lot of talking. It's a lot of talking going on, right, man. All these platforms, everybody talking.
I think me and Ari Spears, we had this debate. And, when the Diddy thing was starting to break, and it was like, if Diddy called my phone at 2 a.m. and said, come to my hotel room, I would absolutely do it. You've done it, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I didn't go to his hotel room.
But you would go meet him somewhere in a private location.
On some work shit.
On some work shit. if Diddy called me at 2 a.m. and said, hey, listen, I got a project in mind. I know how genius works. It doesn't work on a time schedule. If you're inspired at 2 a.m. and you say no the next morning, you'll never get that call again.
Man, listen.
So yeah, yes. People, oh yeah, Vlad is gay and he wants to, no, like I'm not gay, it's whatever. But if Diddy and a billionaire calls me at 2 a.m. and say, hey, I got an idea, I want to run by you, come by my room, I'll come by the room.
Yo.
Now, if it's,
like, most people be like, why won't you just talk on the phone then, motherfucker? Get on the phone.
Right, no.
Get on the Zoom then, motherfucker. Why you got to go to this room and shit?
I would show up just like how you showed up when you were working with him. But people want to create this weird narrative.
Right. So I had a contract where I had to like do whatever it is, where as far as like be there to like write for dude or whatever. Like, but dude, I understand what you're saying, because dude don't sleep. You know what I mean? Right. Dude don't sleep. You know who you should, his security, I remember I used to look at them and they used to be like, and I'd be like, when do y'all sleep? They'd be like, whenever he sleep. Diddy security would be like, whenever he sleep, we sleep. I said, you got to at least go to the car and get a little nap or something. He's like, yeah, sometime I do. He's like, I get a little nap and I get up. He was like, but yo, we be rolling. Because billionaire behavior. This motherfucker go to sleep when he want to go to sleep. You know what I mean? And shit.
One of my regular New York security guys.
You at time zone to time zone and shit. Like, yo, you go to sleep when you want to go to sleep.
Yeah, my man Truth, he's one of my regular security guys in New York, was one of Diddy's security right before he got arrested, because his regular guy called at 6. They brought him in as a third guy because Diddy has 3 guys around him for security. He said, man, it was cool. It was fun. Like, you know, he had the feeling that Diddy knew that he was about to, get arrested. So he was spending time with his son and his friends. He was jumping around, meeting with people. But it was like, I don't know what's going to happen to him. At the end of the day,
I know
there's going to be a trial or he's going to plead out.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't condone nothing.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing neither.
Me neither.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing, everybody, don't nobody know nothing.
People have me on these shows and I'm like, well, I can tell you what I can tell you, but I don't know much.
I don't know nothing.
I don't know much,
I don't know nothing. I know what everybody else know. I hate what I saw. I hate what I hear. You know what I mean? Like, it's nothing else that I can do. I can feel away by what I hear and see. And then that's about it. But I don't know anything to sit back and have an opinion on any motherfucking thing. And everybody got their opinion, and everybody's making money off of their opinions. And that's what it is. Everybody's making money on their opinions. And it's like, that's what it is.
We had a big month last month.
Exactly. I'm quite sure you had a big month last month because of that. Everybody's making money on their opinion. So what make you think that you asking me a question to try to get a rise out of motherfucker? I'm not saying you. I'm just saying a person trying to get a rise out of me. You trying to get a rise out of me so you can get motherfucking views and everything. It's like, I don't know nothing.
No, I know,
Quit don't ask me shit.
This is why our conversation went the way it is. And I'm not throwing you under the bus.
All I talk about, allegedly, my whole goddamn interview today, all right? That's what you do. Put that shit on the whole goddamn everything. Alleged to anything. But like I said, I only can talk about what I've been through and what I know. And what I know is what I know. I can't speak on shit else that's going on because I don't know. I just know what I see, what people put out there, and that's just it. But me personally, I just speak what I know, and that was it.
That's where we're going to end it. Deon Cole, man, always a pleasure when you come in, man. And I appreciate you coming in.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? Especially, with your relationship with Marlon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I respect you for coming in, considering that you have a relationship with both of us, and we did have that falling out, man. But you asked me flat out, and I addressed it flat out.
And I appreciate you doing that,
man.
So,
so it's all transparent. We
gonna mend that shit. We gonna mend that shit, man. We gonna get Marlon on the phone, man. Y'all motherfuckers knock that shit out, man.
Exactly.
We all
at the end of the day, man, nothing serious really happened.
Man, it's all love. You know what I mean? You apologize. Marlon proved you wrong and
you did a big interview on Shay Shay.
It's all good. It's all good. Let's shake hands. Let's keep them motherfucking moving,
man. But congrats on the new special and the big check you got for OK Mister. Go watch it on Netflix right now.
I was bullshitting. I ain't getting no big check.
That's what it is.
Shout out
next
to
time.
Netflix. Shout out to everybody. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.